story beginning in Dallas, Texas, where a 31-year-old white off-duty cop accidentally shot her neighbor, 26-year-old Jean. It is stated that Amber had worked overnight in her shift and she was tired and caught up on a cell phone call when she accidentally entered into the wrong apartment and shot her neighbor. Now, come on. We know oftentimes that accidents do occur because we are on our cell phones and not paying attention. But how caught up are you when you're entering into the wrong domicile, knowing what your surroundings look like and knowing who you are, where you live, that you'll accidentally go into someone else's place of solace and kill them? UA, here to report on our story is our Onyx News correspondent, UA Thompson. I got a question, UA. Come on, tell me about this.
Absolutely. This story is horrendous. From the very beginning, I have picked holes through it. I do not buy the argument that this lady entered the wrong apartment. I do not buy the argument that she was caught up in some cell phone call which preempted her from going into her apartment on a separate floor. This story is horrendous. I think it speaks to a larger issue of the problems we have in this country. I hope the prosecution and these jurors do not buy this story and give her the full extent of the law prosecutorially, because this is a farce.
I totally agree. It is also said that in the jury, they have given unto the judge maybe lesser charges, maybe because it was an accident. She didn't intentionally go in to kill Jean. This is not considered to be a hate crime, and they're not even looking at it as a crime of race. However, we know, given what's been going on in society here lately, or the last 10, 20 years, with white armed police officers taking out our unarmed black Americans, that this is a problem. Whether or not they'll ever admit it, whether or not it's ever being looked at, we know that this situation continues to plague society, and it is a problem for us as a people, UA. How are we supposed to even look at this as being an accident?
Absolutely. I think if you switch roles in this whole story and ask yourself and ascertain the fact that if this was a black female officer walking into the domicile of a white man and shot and killed him, mistaking that his apartment was her own, this story would be playing out much different. I think we have to have some serious conversations in this country relative to race and race relations. And until we do that, we're going to continue to see this type of quagmire and breakdown within American society. This country has a serious race problem, and I think it is by far the worst problem that this country has had to deal with. And until we face it, confront it, and deal with it, it will not go away. We cannot consistently give people who are of a different complexion than black lesser time for harder crime. It's just not right. We have to confront this, we have to deal with it, and we have to face it head on. I'm reminded of a story that Dr. Gardner C. Taylor, God rest his soul, shared with me some years ago. He said, often we're chided with having to play the race card. And he then said, but sometimes, most times, that's the only card in the deck because the deck consists of it. And so often we have to confront the fact that sometimes that's all we've got to play, because that's all we've got to go on, because consistently this society is set up and the system is set up against people of color. And we've got to stop it, and we've got to send strong messages through the judicial process that these types of things will not be allowed to perpetuate themselves in the 21st century in American society. We have to deal with race in this country, and we have to deal with it now.
I absolutely agree. Well, there you've heard it from our Onyx News correspondent, UA Thompson. As this story unfolds even the more, we'll keep you posted. Thank you for joining us on Onyx News, and we'll be right back.